Hey, my name is Jonathan Wynn. This is the final project slideshow here for the data structures class here. We're going to be going over the runtime comparisons on different operating systems for the sorting algorithms that we went ahead and wrote. So to start off with sorting algorithms and big O notation. So big O notation is a tool it's used to describe the time complexity for the runtime of an algorithm in relation to the size of the data set being analyzed. So something that has a big O notation of ON, where N is just the size of the data set, is going to compile a lot faster, say finish faster than one that is ON squared. So N squared being that size again. It's a way to express the upper bound of an algorithm's time complexity by analyzing the worst case situation of the algorithm. So just a visual right here just shows the average case complexity and worst case complexity of some of the common sorting algorithms here. Before starting the project, we wanted to mention here that just by looking at the big O numbers and average case complexity, we predicted that counting sort would actually be the fastest because of the worst case complexity being ON versus N log N for merge sort, heap sort, and then ON squared for quick sort and insertion sort. And we mentioned that right here. This figure shows the common big O numbers and their increasing growth rates with larger sample sizes. Just, again, another visual just to get an idea of what we were talking about. So in terms of compile times and other operating systems, so consumers have different devices that run different operating systems. Like an ATM is going to have a different operating system, typically, say, than your personal computer at the house. Manufacturers need to be conscious of what operating systems their products are going to be used for in order to have the widest possible customer base, but also to make sure that software and hardware compatibility issues don't develop. They develop a program and it runs perfectly fine on a Linux machine, but it doesn't run on a Windows machine, for example. Again, so different calling conventions might be used for programs themselves on different operating systems. Operating systems may have different rules for regarding the stack structure, so how it stores data during runtime. Whatever compiler the program is running has to follow those rules as well in the OS to avoid corrupting or losing the data. So typically, you could say it's going to follow a different code path for, say, Linux than Windows, and just the way that the data moves around behind the scenes in the compiler, versus in the different operating systems here. So this may result in faster or slower compile times per operating system, and it may limit the scalability of the program. That's the big thing that we wanted to harp on a little bit, and you'll see here in a minute. Combined with the big O number of an algorithm, there can be significant differences. So first, we decided to go ahead and try Kali Linux. This is on Isaiah's computer. He has a machine that's running this, and just so to give you an idea here, so insertion sort took much longer, over 100 times longer than all of the other sorts here. The other sorts were typically around 1,000 milliseconds. So heap sort 1,008, merge 932, quick sort 895, counting sort 1,025. We were a bit surprised about the counting sort not being quicker than the rest of them. And again, that might just be an operating system specific thing. We didn't really know. But quicksort was the fastest out of all of these. Insertion, again, with it being a different big O number, took much longer to finish, just because of the way that it actually has to complete that sorting process, how many comparisons it has to make with 500,000. So this is without insertion sort, just so you can kind of see a visual comparison, showing that quicksort was the fastest out of all of them here. And this is with insertion sort. So again, insertion sort is going to be the slowest out of all of those with the data set that we've been given, at least on Linux. We also tried this on Windows 10, and it was kind of surprising to see this here. So insertion sort was pretty similar at 157,000 milliseconds, so 157 seconds, 2.5 minutes. The heap sort, quick sort, merge sort, and counting sort were more than triple the length of time here. So 3,397, 3,582, 3,363, and 3,464 milliseconds for all of those. Again, counting sort still not being faster than quicksort. Quicksort was also the fastest on Linux. Here's a visualization of that right here. And again, with insertion sort also thrown in there, you can't really tell the difference on the other ones, but insertion sort, again, took a lot longer than the rest of them. Something really surprising here, at least surprising to me, was Windows 11 versus Windows 10. Windows 11 was actually almost, it was just about double, twice as fast as Windows 10 when it comes to compile time, at least on heap sort, quick sort, merge sort, and counting sort. With insertion sort, it was many times faster, only 46 seconds versus 2.5 minutes. And again, like I'd mentioned previously here, so what we hypothesize here is that it's probably something to do with the way that the Windows 11 versus Windows 10 actually stores memory during runtime and what kind of code path that they have to use. There may be some better optimizations when it comes to memory in the OS for Windows 11 versus Windows 10. It's just an older OS. This is a brand new one. So, but yeah, very surprising to see those. And Linux is still faster than Windows 11. So there's a couple comparisons right here. And again, I forgot to mention here, quicksort was the fastest out of all of these. Counting sort was very close, though. It was only about 24 milliseconds off. And then again, with insertion sort shown in here, again, a lot longer with that big of a data set. So again, we show the 3 different operating systems that we tested them on, and Windows 10 and Windows 11 show here. Pretty similar when it comes to compile times. Linux, however, again, a lot faster in regard to those 4 sorting algorithms. Insertion sort, however, Windows 11 beat out everybody. So again, we do think that that's probably just due to a code path thing between the different operating systems. Not really specifically, we don't really know why, but we do see we do have that observation there as to why that is happening. So. So in conclusion here, just, after comparing the runtime of our code across 3 different operating systems, we did conclude Linux was the best one to run most of our code on. Insertion sort, not so much. All the sorting algorithms aside from insertion sort would be practical for this scenario of sorting a data set. The number of values that ours did was about 500,000. It was exactly 500,000, I'm sorry. If given a much smaller data set, though, because of the scalability of it, the smaller the data set size, the faster insertion sort's going to run. It's an exponential thing, so it may be more practical and still an acceptable algorithm to use with a smaller data set, say just like a couple thousand. With this size of a data set, though, insertion sort would not be a good choice. And here are some of the sources that we used for that. So I think that's about it.